Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while since I last posted a video. Things have just been really busy for me and I do want to apologize. You guys can probably always hear cars in my videos, but I live right next to a street that's kind of busy and there's just no way around it. Sometimes I do film at my desk, which is a little bit quieter, but whenever I want to show you guys some of this stuff in videos, I prefer to have like this white background behind me so that you can see what I'm showing you a little bit better. I think that my desk does give a nice little like change to the like background, but I know I have a lot of stuff there and it can be a little bit distracting. But why don't I jump into what I'm going to be talking about today? I did get a request to film a video on this pair of shoes, so that's why I decided to go ahead and talk about this today. So this is a pair of Manolo Blahniks. I don't know if you can see the box on the screen. The monitor I'm looking at, it's super washed out and it just looks like a plain white box. But this is a pair of shoes that I actually wore on my wedding day. The person who requested this also follows me on Instagram, so if any of you out there want to give me a follow on Instagram and maybe you see something on there that you're curious about, go ahead and check out the comment box down below. I'll leave a link to my Instagram there, and yeah, definitely if you guys see anything there that you're curious about, let me know and I will try my best to film a video on it. But let me just get right into this pair of shoes. So I got this pair in blue satin. So I'm not really sure how to pronounce the name of this shoe, but I will go ahead and put it up on the screen. I think you say it Hangisi, I'm not sure, but once you see what these shoes look like, I think you will definitely know because they are in a movie that I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there have seen before, and that's kind of where I saw these shoes at first. So if you're familiar with Carrie Bradshaw, she did have these pair of shoes in the Sex and the City movie, and I'm just surprised because I feel like I haven't seen that movie recently. I mean, it is pretty old at this point, but I feel like in the movie she mentioned this being a pair of like 500 something dollar shoes, and now these shoes are almost $1,000, which just blows my mind that they almost doubled in price. But here are the Manolo Blahniks that I wore on my wedding day. I'll just go ahead and remove them from the box. I also have the tissue in here, so I'll take that out too before I go ahead and show it to you. So as you can see, I do store the shoes in the shoebox, but it does come with a dust bag, one for each side, in case you prefer to store your shoes that way. Okay, so these are what the shoes look like out of the box. So like I mentioned, these are the Manolo Blahniks. They're in a blue satin. So for me personally, in terms of like accessories, like handbags, shoes, jewelry, I would say shoes are definitely the top on my list, and then probably handbags. I'm not a big jewelry wearer. I'm sure you see me wearing the same stuff every single time, which is an Hermes bracelet, and that's about it. But on a day-to-day basis, I do not really wear a whole bunch of jewelry, which is why it wasn't as important to me on that day. But it was really important for me to get an awesome pair of shoes. So let me tell you why I chose these over maybe some other pairs of popular wedding shoes that maybe some of you guys are looking at. First and foremost, I do want to say that when it comes to shoes, I am not a person who wears heels at all or very often. I do not wear heels to the office. I used to. There was one point in my life where I used to wear heels a lot to the office and also on the weekends, but it's just not something that I do nowadays or maybe even for the past few years. I definitely like myself a good pair of heels though. I love the way that they look. I just don't like wearing them. They're just too uncomfortable for me and I feel like I just can't be bothered with it, to be honest with you. So comfort was number one on my list. I do have other pairs of designer shoes like Christian Louboutins and Jimmy Choo's. Christian Louboutins, I love the way that they look. I love the standout, red sole, but I can barely stand to wear them. If I am going somewhere and I know I'm going to be sitting for most of the time, that's really the chance that I, wear those shoes that I have. But I knew if I wore a pair of those, I would just be dying throughout the whole day, and that's not something that I wanted to do. I do also have a pair of Jimmy Choo's, and I know that they make really beautiful wedding shoes, and I think a lot of you might like some of those too. If you are getting married or you're looking for, a statement shoe like that, definitely go ahead and give them a try. I have another pair of Manolo Blahniks that are actually in a lower heel height, and to me, I felt like those shoes were super comfortable. I could wear them all day. I used to wear them to the office like a long time ago, over 10 years ago, and that's why I was curious to try a pair of these out. For me, I definitely wanted to go with a pair of blue shoes for my wedding day because blue is my favorite color, and I really wanted something that had a little bit of sparkle, which obviously these definitely do. That's why I kind of gravitated more towards this one. I did see other pair of blue pumps out there, but they're more like plain blue pumps, no accent, details or anything like that, which is why I really liked this one. So talking about comfort, I literally wore these shoes all day long. So for a person who prefers sneakers or flats, I pretty much put these shoes on after I got ready before we took pictures. So 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the afternoon. And I didn't really take them off until 10 when we were done. So for me, that's pretty amazing. I don't know of any other shoe that I've worn for that long. And like I said, I'm not used to wearing heels. So this was basically a once in a 5-year period thing where I wore a pair of heels for literally 8 hours straight. Granted, I was not standing the entire time, but right after I got ready, I put these on. We went outside, walked around a whole bunch to take pictures. Then there was a ceremony. I was basically standing the whole time with maybe just short 5 to 10 minute breaks in between to sit, during pictures or kind of while we were waiting. I wore these shoes during our first dance, which was a choreographed dance, and that went fine too. I would say that these shoes run true to size. I wear a 35.5 in most shoes, or a 5.5. The only time I would go down a size ever to like a size 5 or 35 is if the shoe is open toed, like an open sandal or something like that, or even a peep toe pump. But for these, the 35.5 for me fit totally fine. They were very comfortable. Like I said, I wore them for literally 8 hours. This is what the shoes look like, and I will go into some close-up shots as well. So on the box, on the label, it said 105. So I'm guessing that this is a 105 millimeter shoe. I did not get a ruler to measure it out, so I'm just going based off of that. But I would say, as far as other shoes that I've had, I feel like this feels more of like a 100 millimeter shoe. 105, I know that's only like 5 millimeters, but I feel like that does actually make a big difference. That's like half a centimeter. But I do like the heel height. So I do think that this is a very beautiful pair of shoes. If I could change anything, and this is really just me being like a little bit nitpicky and probably something that doesn't bother anybody else, but I would change the style of this heel. So up at the top here, I'm not a super fan about how this kind of slants this way. I wish the heel kind of went straight up, kind of like the BB style of the Manolo Blahnik. The other thing that I'm not super crazy about is the heel tap right here, this little black piece. So for me personally, I would prefer if the heel was the same size as a little black piece, but this thing right here is a little bit bigger. There's probably a reason why it's made that way, but aesthetically for me, that's just something that I would have preferred, and just my thoughts. But I try to not let those things bother me, and honestly, I was wearing a long dress, so nobody really saw these anyway. And I do want to find other opportunities to wear these shoes because I think they look so nice. I sadly have only worn these once, and I got married almost 2 years ago, so these are in pretty good shape. A couple of things that I would mention to you in case you are considering getting these shoes is that they are a little bit delicate. So after that one night of wearing it, I don't know if I maybe like hit the jewels on this side, but they're just a little bit scratched from far away. You probably couldn't tell. I don't know if you guys can see it on, oh, you can kind of see it on the screen right there. But that to me just says that, the shoes are being worn, and I don't keep them in the box, or obviously, well, I have been. I've only worn these once, but that kind of makes me a little less afraid to wear them, I think, on a not a more regular basis, but you know what I mean, like to other things. But I really enjoyed wearing these shoes. I think they look super awesome. If I got any other color for my wedding day, it probably would have been a silver, or I think they make it in like this kind of dark metallic gray bronze. It was, it color changed a little bit when you moved it. But I really wanted to wear blue shoes on my wedding day. Like I mentioned, that's my favorite color, and I really like these shoes. There's a couple of things that I would change about it, but that's just, based on my own personal preference and aesthetics. But otherwise, like I said, I really like these shoes so much. They were super comfortable, and I did wear them all day. But I will go ahead and insert some close-ups right now so that you can see what they look like. I also think that the way that this shoe is cut, like it doesn't go too low like maybe some other styles of shoes. So I feel like it really helps to keep your foot in the shoe. Also, I do like the amount that this comes up on the toe. So this pretty much comes up to the top of my toes. And I think it's a very comfortable and secure place for it to be. I like the inside too. There's a little bit of padding in here. It made it really comfortable to walk in. It's definitely not like a squishy sneaker sole or anything like that. But as you can see right here, here's the little scuff that I have, but I'm not too worried about this. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to resell these or anything, but let me go ahead and show you the other side. Okay, so here is the left side of the shoe, obviously looking a lot like the other side. Yeah, I really like this detail right there. I like how it's like super sparkly. I think this is a great special occasion event shoe. Definitely a statement, something to wear to a wedding or like some kind of fancy dinner or something. I mean, if you collect heels, I don't see why you wouldn't have one of these in your collection, to be honest with you. Well, that's all that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, which I will leave the link down below, and you see anything on there you're curious about, let me know, and I would definitely try to make a video on that. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you were considering buying this shoe, maybe you have to buy it online and you're not sure how comfortable it is. For me, I would say they're very comfortable. I love the way that they look. I think it's a great addition to anyone who loves designer shoes and is looking for something else to add to their collection. There's definitely a couple of other shoes out there that I want to get my hands on as well. And there are other videos that I want to make for shoes that I already have, and I want to share it with you guys in case you're wondering about those too. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!